All right, today, I'm pretty dark here. I guess I'll fix it in the next video. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to find the first writer's formats, and you can see above me is a description of what the formats are. In Isaiah 2, chapter 2, this is what I found in the text. Now I'm honoring our creator by using the blue or the purple all capital letters as his words or his promises, and then I'm using red as Jesus. Now, Yah is Jesus's name that they gave him, I guess after David's time, when he was told that through his son's seed will have a king in heaven, his son will be a king in heaven, or have a kingdom in heaven. This text is talking about what's going to happen at the future of when he's on earth. Okay, much of Isaiah does have this text there, but it's been corrupted. If you ever read the 1611 preface to the Bible, you will find that there's many problems with that, with what words they use. So I forgot to get the chats out here. So what it is example, did you know Gregory is the divine? That's right. Your translators who translated the text in 1611 wrote that Gregory is the divine. Now that should be a shock to you, but there's a lot more than that that's in the 1611 preface. And I have that link in my description on YouTube. One a little bit more fudging here and I'll be done. Okay. So if you want to go into the description and find that PDF and look it over, I've done a lot of highlighting. It's an open source. That means that when you download it, anybody can edit it from there. I left it in the words that I found, and this was like maybe 20 years ago, maybe even longer than that when it was on the web. So I don't know how it is today, whether people have taken it and then rewrote it or edited it, whatever. But I have, I believe, the true copy of the 1611 preface. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start in chapter 3 now. As you can see in my editing, I do remove a lot of text, and I'm explaining the words that I change, like this, the words that I add here or here in gray, or how I add a little bit of more text to the word that it reads better. Now when you see red, that's going to be the text that I'm adding to make the words read smoother. And I forgot to say that this is a 3-verse format that you're seeing. So what that means is that I'm trying to find 2 words and then connect them with the least amount of words to make the sentence. So you can see here is 2, and I guess since that should have been in gray text that I added it. And then that's how I try to find them. Now, it's very rare that I need a third word in there. But this format, what this format does is it's kind of like, here is the statement. So I use a period at the end, and then I find 2 more parts that is explaining the statement above it. Okay. So that's the format in this. This is known as a psalm, And then you have 2 Psalms that will actually make like a large paragraph. Each one of these are like a small paragraph, and then they become a larger paragraph. And then pretty much the subject changes. So that's what I'm going to do here in 3 in front of you. Let me see, my camera is starting to bother me. So let me see here. How do I brighten it? Where is the brightness? Oh, it's listed under exposure. Okay, let me do that for right now. Okay. So what I'm tell you right now is at the end of the text, I'm going to show you just like what I did at the beginning of this video of what I'm finding here. So pretty much what I'm doing is I'm going to be talking and explaining. So if you want to just skip to the end, fine and dandy, that's good. But if you want to understand the knowledge that I have that of editing the Bible or editing the text here to find these formats, just listen as I go through. You have any questions, put it in the chat room. Pretty soon I will have Skype running, and I'm seeing that I have like a new thing at the bottom here from Windows that's like a meeting room. I haven't looked into that. I was going to do that today. I forgot. So to find the first format, I've got to find in these words here where it kind of supports or supports. I read the word, both supply and support, a breaking point. And I can see that this is kind of what's going to be the word changing here. Let me move this over a little bit from the edge. Okay, oops, maybe a little bit too far, but you get the idea. It's more centered for you to be able to read. Okay. Now, for behold, Lord God, this title, God here, let me show you in the concordance. I'm using the 1970. How come that didn't come up? Is there a refresh? Deactivate, activate. It has to be this video. Okay, well, I usually have I've been taking my computer and had a lot of work done on it because it's new. And then he really kind of screwed it up here. I've got to take it into another guy to get it fixed. They used 2 words or 2 titles for our Creator's name. And when it's spelled like this, it means, whoops, got to bring you back onto the stream here because I'm not going to be able to use my other text here today. Sorry about that. I just got it back the other day and it is disappointing. Although I know how good he is. I've been going to him for 20 years. These two, this is a title that is representing his name. I put his name back in. Now the word Lord, well, I shouldn't have closed that down. I can still use it for myself, but I can't show it to you. That's the problem. So let me pop it back on the screen and find out what the Lord is. Anane, which pretty much means Lord. All the text is saying Lord. Let me see if I rebooted that. It did that. Nope. Okay, this word is Anane, and it usually means Lord, so I will say it means this Lord, like a title for YV. And it wouldn't be the Lord, it would be first person. The text would be our Lord YV. So, and I don't need these words, is going to remove from Jerusalem and Judah. Now, at this time, I don't know if this is going to be, because I have ways to actually kind of use different ideas as how people can read the text and understand whether it's a good whole nation or a nation that has now gone to be evil, and then when I need to add it together. So I don't know which one of these two that Judah is. So what I got to do is I got to set this off to the side. And somehow I've got to get this up here. I got to make sure I see the stream health. Okay, now this video today is probably going to be about 2.5 hours. So you got to bear with me. I should have set it up better. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to say that it's a bad Judah, nation Judah, because he's talking about the future of what's going to happen, and if he's going to remove them, it's going to be a bad Judah. Okay, so I'm just saying I'm getting rid of that word for this word. And Jerusalem will not get a capital because it means they're evil at this time. So this text is starting to show that it's a 3-verse by me being able to do this. And then this is going to be our Creator speaking. This is his prophecy. Both supply and support. Well, the supply of water. And it's going to be his support. Why I'm using well, I guess this is IES when I'm reading it. And this needs to be added. Both supplies. Both. Trying to think of a better word than supplies here. Actually, this, by the concordance, this is the only time this Hebrew word is used. And it's used as the word supply once. Out of all the Hebrew books or Hebrew text, this word is only used once. And I know that it has a word from Hebrew. So this is almost like we would know it today as staples. The supply of bread and the supply of water. So what are they using the Hebrew word for supply right after it? Well, actually, they used it as support too. And believe support here is used once only. This is really disappointing. Because it's important that you see these, but I guess you just have to trust me today. I've made like 600 videos, so some of you have already seen this program, but it's interesting to see it as I go along. Both supplies. Because this could be bread and water, and I would be getting rid of all this. And now this becomes the statement. Both supplies. Now, you have to understand inside his tent for meeting is a bowl of wheat that's placed on the table that holds the oil for the lamps. So it's a pitcher of oil, and it's on a table. These two items, and I'm not sure if there's two bowls of wheat or just one, but this was a promise that our Creator made with the people when they came out of Israel or out of Egypt. And that is that if they obey the 12 commandments, that He will always give them these things, that they won't have a famine, okay? So that's a promise that He has put in the house, and is represented by wheat seeds in the bowl. Now, both supplies, and that's what I was trying to get, is that it's Him that's supporting this. This is like what the word Lord, the title Lord, is about. That He's lording over them, He's taking care of them is the title. So this is very much in the way they would make sure that it's speaking that He is keeping them alive by not giving them a famine if they stay onto Him. Once they are against Him, He starts allowing a famine, droughts, things like that. So, how do I use the word support? His support. I have to add His here. His support of our supplies. So I could actually copy this and put it here. Okay, I was just checking to make sure that my microphone was on. So, okay. His support. Whoops, I needed this one. I need to get rid of this one. His support of our supplies. Our bread and water. And that'll probably be the last time that I edit the text for all of this as he's being said. It's a prophecy from our Creator. It just moves the video up faster. And I will stop putting these commas and periods in as well. Okay, so what I have now beginning for chapter 3 is a small paragraph and a second small paragraph in a 3-verse format, and they connect together. Now you're saying, probably you're thinking, how do you know that these are first person formats? We have text in Jeremiah that says that Jeremiah sent his scribe to read at the gate a scroll that he had told them. When that scroll was brought in to be read before that king at that time, it says after he read 3 or 4 columns, he tossed it into the fireplace. So that is what I'm saying, that when you see this, it becomes a column. So that's also proof of what I'm doing is correct. I think if you search the word columns in Jeremiah on BibleHub.com, you will find that verse. Now, mighty man. Now, this man is being used wrong. This is our Creator's definition for the word man is, I created man male and female. So this says male and female here, and you can see that it's talking about warriors. So the thing here is I'm thinking maybe I cut this wrong because they're more mighty warriors. Okay. So if I get first person, our mighty warriors. Just with an S. And I'm going to use it again. Our judges. Now, a prophet is not going to be against a creator, so that is oversalted and not correct. And since we're talking about the people, our judges, and I'm going to put, well, I can see the word elders here. And diviners, get rid of them. And our judges and elders. There's got to be some here, some text here. because this is covered under mighty warriors. Okay. So I'm thinking this is going to be the third statement here. And our honorable counselors, which doesn't seem that should be right being said like this. Because you got to remember, Jerusalem is going to be cut off. So what he's saying is these people are going to be have a problem here when he does this. Our mighty warriors and our judges and elders. What's missing here is priests and counselors. Counselors is more or less, I'm going to get rid of the word honorable, but I'm going to put in, we have to have two people are missing, scribes and priests. So priests are actually should have been here. And since I'm adding it, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take it from here and our priest, and that's what I'm going to, and judges. Who counsel us. So I can see that elders counsel. Our mighty warriors and our priests and judges and our elders, and our elders who counsel. I'm not thinking right here. So I don't need this. I'm going to add the word us here at the end. Who counsel us. I'm not thinking that's the right word. I think it's spelled with a C-I-L at this time. Who counsel us. I'll check that in the grammar check. Now these we don't need. It's just extra wording. But now I have 3 verses, but this and then this one. But it's not telling us yet. This is just not going to what's happened yet. They will fall because of their speech and action, for they are against our Creator, or against YV. They rebelled against his glorious presence. Now this, when it says the word presence here, this means that he's showing up as our Creator is showing himself as light above the mercy seat when the priests go in to talk to him. And let me put it this way, from the text that I just done, I got it here. Maybe it's, I had to add it here. This is where I added, because here they come before him and appear, but by their evilness I reject them. And it's the offerings that they're bringing in, because the priests are evil. And you spread out your hands to call to me. My light will not appear to you. I've had to add that. But that's what goes on in the house for meeting with our Creator, or used to. Now that they're corrupt, that's not going to happen. So that's what this is. This would be by his light's presence. Yeah, get rid of this, do this, and do this. That corrects that. But I needed to find what was going to happen to these people here that I'm editing up here, because like I said, I've got 2 verses here that makes a group. Then this one here is going to have a space, and I need a second group of words to go with this. This is nothing, because these are already ruling over, so that isn't truthful. The people will be oppressed. But that's just a matter of evilness and wickedness, all this. So that can be removed. Well, now that I'm thinking about this, I may have been too quick on that. Because this, I'm sure, is not capricious children. That's, you don't need this word here. They wouldn't have had a word like that at that time. Yeah, it's used as the word punishment, so only once, though. Another word that we find only, I guess, is used twice. And it's not going to be children ruling over them, obviously. So that is definitely gone. If I'm saving this statement, this has to be Jesus's people. His people will be oppressed. Youth will be against their elders. This here is not good either. I'm going to get rid of all of it again. I really tried to look to see if I could continue that, and maybe it's just a piece that needs to be put someplace else, and I don't see that as a piece. When a man, see, they keep using the secular term man. His brother in his father's house. saying you have a cloak and you'll be our leader. That's just stupid. We know the history, okay? We know that there was always kings. So this is not. Now, I got to also explain that if this is about Israel, if Israel, the nation Israel fallen, because he is a prophet during these two kings here. And the first one king is going to be here, and then there is going to be no kings for 5 years. So is this the timing that this is going to happen? Is that's what's here? Am I seeing? And it's not going to be, it's going to be then. I think is the more correct word. They'll be asking for a leader, and if you noticed this text, a king did arise out of them for 9 years, but Assyria came back down. Now, this timeline is coming from our Creator's Hidden formats, which are really sophisticated. I've got to go over them, but this is I'm trying to find the 3-verse formats from the first writers. And that, by the way, that proves that the text that they corrupted actually was first wrote by those that were witnessing our Creator. So then man lays hold could be asks. Yeah, has, because it's just a better word than lays hold. Then man will ask. But it could be not man, and just they. Then they will ask from their brothers. Then because after Assyria comes and takes them, okay, it has to be, this is, it's the remaining, the remnant. I think I've got that spelled right. No, of course I don't. Okay, this is the more correct word than that. So I'm not saying that I'm adding it completely, because it's going to be a bunch of the remnant is going to ask. From their brothers. You be our ruler is the correct word. Because a cloak doesn't mean shit. Okay, let's put it this way. And the fuchsia colored word here was added in 1977. And if I get rid of this as well, and because I need this to continue, So I clean it up. Will you be our ruler over these ruins? But this will not be a comma for the first time. It will be a question mark over these ruins. When Assyria came down to conquer a people so they just can't come back and live, they burnt the place down. They would burn the fields. They would burn the trees for harvesting. They really destroyed the land at that time. To say that we're going to take these captives and you've got no home to go to anymore. So to be our ruler. I got to put the words over our ruins. How do I say that? What is ruins actually? Ruins is well, this Hebrew word is only used twice. It has to be land though, because a ruler rules over the land. So I'm going to say, I'm going to add, well, that is within the shadow of the word though. Ruins is the land that we are talking about. So I'm going to say that that's pretty good here. And this, yes, I have to say I'm adding that. Okay, then the remnant will ask from their brothers to be our ruler. Now it's not a question. Over our land. Okay. Now, does that go with this? No, it doesn't. This is something separate now. But it is talking about not Judah here. It's talking about we know in Jeremiah, the text says that when Babylon conquered, they appointed a governor or an overseer of the land from among the people, so he could collect the taxes and whatever's left they can get by on. And so when Assyria is going to come down, they're probably following the same routine. And so here, because I showed you the timeline that I spent years, and I mean a good 2 years working on this to correct. It took me 5 years to correct or to go through and find our Creator's hidden formats. Then when I put them together, I had to figure out all the times for these kings. And when I did, I got them in relationship of the time, not that this is 52 years and this is exactly 40 years. It means these events were happening around this, in the span of 52, roughly in this area. These things came about and happened. These guys became kings. So, but when this guy gets to be a king, Well, let's see here. I've got to think here. This is not, yeah, this has got to be talking about Assyria and not here, Judah. So now we've got words of Isaiah, and we now know that we're talking about this time, that this is going to happen because you're going to have this happen. So that he's got to be speaking at this time. And when you look at the lifespan of a prophet, some of the prophets start at 16 years old, okay? And they aren't really known as a prophet until actually something happens that what they said becomes true. So then they are known as a prophet. I got to get rid of this will and leave that one there, and then this becomes this, and this becomes a 4-verse. This becomes this. This becomes a period. This becomes a comma, and then this was added. So that's a 4-verse. But he's not going to refuse. He's going to become a king. So we know that this is not true. By the way, I've been doing this for over, I'll just say 30 years now. So I think it's coming up. I know I'm in the 29th, so. So it was evilness, not stumbled. Evilness is people against our Creator. Because they didn't stumble. Our Creator just wouldn't get rid of them for just being stumbled. And Judah will fall. It's prophecy. So has can't be true. And this is the Judah that I know is going to be evil. So I can, that's what I should have done up here. Is just said I'm replacing it, not changing it. Where Jerusalem has evilness, now Judah will now has to be added. Now Judah will fall. I'm going to put of here because of their actions. the, oops. Yep, R needs to be put here. So get rid of this one and say I'm adding this because they are against YV. And you can see that I've got a 4 verse going here. But if I do it here, does this become 3? Okay, I need to take a quick break here and I'll be right back. So, oh, what I was going to do is put up these up. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. Those are Psalms that you see, and I'm leaving them up extra long for you to be able to read them or take a screenshot and read them later. They will be in the description, I hope, by a day or two, so that'll be about 3 videos, maybe 2 videos. But okay, now this is a new story, but that's a 4 verse. Now this has come back to a 3 verse. But this is going to be very important because that is a prophecy here. In this text, there's nothing there again to go with that. Just did a quick double check. For Jerusalem has evilness, now Judah will fall because of their actions. Now I got to explain something about the timeline here. What's coming up is this king here is going to put a carved image of the goddess into our Creator's meeting room. So that means the priests are going to be corrupt for him to be able to do that. So this might not be at this time talking about. So yeah, this word isn't right. This word is more right. For Jerusalem has evilness, and Judah will fall because of their actions. We don't know them yet. So I'm hoping they're here in Isaiah. Because if they're not, we got another prophet, I think it's going to be Ezekiel, who's going to be at this time then. So what we have here now is they will be against YV. It will be against to rebel against against. Now this is wrong now. They will be against YV to rebel against his presence in his house is more truthful. It will be against YV to rebel against his presence in his house. Okay. Okay. Now this has to be like a double space here. The expression of the phrase bears witness against him. They will display the sin like Sodom. They do not conceal it. They have brought evilness upon themselves. Now, since I know, I just got done telling you what's going to happen with that priest. They do not conceal it. They display their sin. That would be their idol in his house. They will display their sin not to conceal it. So these two aren't needed. They will display their sin, not to conceal it. I guess I could use the word even. So, not to conceal. I'm trying to put the word woe here on the end. So I guess I'm going to put 2 here. Say I added that. I'm going to say that I'm going to use this, but I'm going to make it my word that I added it. Not even to conceal it. Since I'm using this word, I will do this. But it's not just on themselves, it's going to be for all Judah. That's what the warning is about. So it's themselves is wrong. It'll be woes for us, for no. We don't, not even to conceal it. Right, illness. Brought their evilness I don't want to get rid of the word woes because that's what we're talking about here. Well, let me see here. Let me do this. Against the presence in his house. As a witness against them. Bears as is, as a witness against them, they will display their sin not even to conceal it. And then that's the end of there. And that is much better because it has to do in their house. As against them, they will display their sin, not even to conceal it. Boy, I'm glad I told you about the king ahead of time. So, because I would definitely be explaining it here. And this has got to have a second verse to it. Okay, I'm trying to break this verse into 3 verses, and I can, because something's got to go here, because they did not conceal it. The woes is so, woes. For everyone. For everyone. Woes for everyone. For they for evilness. And right now I have to just say this is a missing verse. Okay. And that's what happens sometimes. But that's the end of that story as far as I can tell, because I'm reading this and it isn't. Say to the righteous, or they eat the fruit of their actions. Don't need to do this. Say to are righteous. Well, it's not going to be ours, it's going to be you are righteous. If he's prophesying this would have to be said like you're righteous. Righteous means those who are most obedient to our Creator. Um, this is said so wrong here. I guess if I use all of what they're saying here and say I added this word, say to the righteous, that would be the statement, and then this will be the comma. Go well with them. for their actions are their obedience okay. Say to your righteous, it will go well for them, for their actions are their obedience. Woes to the evil ones, or evils, woes to the evil. To your wicked. That means they don't know, they aren't completely evil, but the wicked ones. So woes are for your wicked. Okay, now that's making more sense. Woes are for your wicked. Yep, I'm going to make all that text here. Except for that, my will go badly for them. Not just one. Woes are for your wicked. It will go badly for them. For what? Is it? Or they deserve they done. Change this to they. First of all, in what they done. Those are for your wicked. It will go badly for them for what they done. Okay. Those two go together. So now I have a space here. This has to be meaning Jesus. We're all his people after he was announced he's going to be a king in heaven. This was knowing that they had a savior, that they were going to be redeemed from the abyss where everybody's soul is going after they died. When he became king, they were to be redeemed from the abyss to enter into his kingdom. So although I didn't want to do that. want to do that. His people are oppressed. I'm going to put a D here. Are guided to be led astray, to confuse and paths is going to get changed to be lives. Or to confuse their way of life. Use their I'm going to put way, and then you have to understand what the word way means. And that way means being obedient to our Creator. Now, up here, because these two are going to connect together, are orphans and widows. His people are oppressed. And this here is going to be widows. His people are oppressed. I'm going to take the word your here to here. These people are, got the word wrong, are here. His people are oppressed. And your descendants and widows. Children are descendants. His people are oppressed and are and your descendants and widows. This has to be for your descendants and widows are ruled over by them. His people are guided. Are guided to be led astray, to be confused, to confuse their way. Now this has to be separate here. This here is out. That's an easy one. Don't give a shit about the vineyards. This I've got up here with descendants and widows. So that doesn't seem to be right. He's going to send an army. So how do I got to see here, think a little bit. This is out. This is out. We'll enter. Now, yes, I'm adding this. But YV arises, an army to contend. And judge our people. This has to be 4. YV will enter. YV will judge. Enters isn't the right word. For YV will judge. For YV will judge. Judge the elders, and this has to be priests. And will be plundered. And you notice I got that from down here. That shortcut isn't working. Because I don't have it on the keyboard. Oh boy. I need, yeah, I can do it manual. I forgot that right there. Maybe arise as an army to contend and judge our people. Maybe arises an army to contend. Invade. Or is it challenge? An army, maybe arises an army to invade. I'm going to say invade. Judge our people. Okay. And his people will not be plundered. His people will be captives. Will be captives, not plundered. This is out. And this isn't why he's going to overthrow them, because they're against him. So this is just out. But notice they had crescent ornaments here. Now these crescent ornaments are the day that they meditate to have sex with the so-called female goddess. So that's why it's crescent. But there is so much here that it must, this has to go at another time. But maybe that's, don't need this word, don't need this word. He didn't say, he prophesied. Not, it has to be their daughters, not the daughters. They're daughters of the evil one, so it has to be their daughters. Are proud and walk with their heads held high. And go along in mincing steps. Let's see what the secular world says for mincing. Chopping. They got to make these things tinkle. So to understand that for 12-year-olds that are going to read the text, don't need the word mincing. Go walking with chopping steps. To tinkle. Bangles on their feet. It's got to be chains. This has got to be aforesaid knowledge. Tinkle their charms. What is bangles here? Bracelets, omelets, bracelets. Nope. I don't know if this. I don't know how many. I know many women that have wore bracelet ankles, but I've never heard them tinkling when they're walking. But I'm going to keep this. Add their charms to tinkle their charm. And go walking with chopping steps to tinkle their charms. So they had a lot of charms, it has to be. The only way I can figure that these charms are moving to make sound is that there would be like a band, and then on this band comes out, so it's kind of like a strap that has these on that make them sound. Because I know they've got chains that are too tight and they aren't going to make sounds because they're touching the rest of the ankle. Yes, I do a lot of this extra thinking just to make sure that the text is understandably what is it? Reasoned by logic for it to actually happen, I guess. But I've got the word walk up here, so it's kind of like I gotta keep this word. This for verse, I need this. Okay, but that's a 4 verse. I just need to put a comma in here so when I see this, I know what's going on here. Okay. If I got this day that their beauty will be taken away from, then this is not really, this is something that's stuck in before that, because this can't happen, really. Take away their beauty is the same thing as all this. Well, this is a special day. Day our Lord. That will take away, will remove. So it's kind of like these women are walking dressed up. Your daughters will be say makeup, their daughters will be veiled and walk with their heads held high. You can't see their second seductive eyes. So their daughters will be you see a woman wearing makeup, in one word. Your daughters will be embellished. This will be lofty. Their daughters will be painted. I'm sorry, ladies, but that's all I can think of. Their daughters will be I'm going to put that. What did they call makeup at that time? Not painted, I guess that's, they will be colored. They will be colored and walk with their heads high. I have to have something that says makeup. So I don't think you would appreciate if I put paint in there. Their daughters will be colored and walk with their heads held high. Okay. With their seductive eyes, they go along with chopping steps to tinkle their charms. Okay. I think that's good enough. In that day, why our Lord will remove their beauty. Now that we got the painted here, and I'm going to have to say with these other items, with anklets and headbands, with crescent they're not ornaments, they're charms. Well, this is really, they got a lot wearing here. Okay. But if I got bracelets already, I don't need that. This has to be like the word and. So let me get it here. Dangling earrings. With veils as headdress. Now these veils aren't covering her face, obviously. I've already got this listed. This is not there. This they don't carry around. Finger rings and nose rings. This is pretty much hey, undergarments weren't needed here. Veils is already done. Turbans are from Asia. That's not good. Yes, I don't think this has anything to do either, so get rid of that. Okay, now this is here. This is how they're dressed up. Now it will come about, it will happen. No, this is what they're doing. This is what they were like. This isn't really what's going to happen. This is what it was like. So, and that's just wrong. Women have always set their hair, so this is. Instead of, this has to be wearing. Instead of wearing a hide with a belt. Needs this garment is white hides, by the way. A garment with a rope. And well set hair. Like this is if it's still 4 verse. Instead of wearing a garment with a belt and well set hair like their foremothers wore. This has to be now. 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 Their clothing is donning as a wearing of sackcloth. I'm going to put dirty. No, rag. Branding, I'm going to say marking, because I don't think they branded them. But this is to be as a marking. As a marking for captivity. But if they're beautifying, I think. I don't know. This is. Okay. Now that. Okay. Because that's a group, and that's a group, and that's a group, and that's a group. That covers the women. Now the men, your men will die. now this, if that's true, then it's going to be all the women here. It has to be women. Whoops. It's got women here. Now I got males down here. Their swords and and arrows. This has to be there. This has to be like their mighty. Yeah. They're warriors. Die in battle. Okay. And this is not here. Okay. Now comes the cleanup. Isaiah 3. What did I have? Why did I do that? Such a big space. They better save that text, and now I'll show you the cleanup. For 3, which goes something like yeah, it's a long macro, but it seems to work really good for me. This is going to be 4, and so I got to say I'm adding this. Going to change this next time. Our bread and water. This is a 4 verse. So this, you need to copy this. This seems to be all his text. Oh, that still seems to be together. But I'm missing a 3 verse group. Well, this has to be part 2. Now this is a 3 verse. So this now becomes another piece to the puzzle here. Three. This has to be 2 spaces. That's good. I'm not sure if that's going to go together. Yeah, I think it is. I think that's going to be a real good story to continue. Nope, this is a 4 verse. This is part 4. Those two go together. Now this seems like it's continuing the story. Yep, and then we got something missing here for our males. So I can say this is going to be 4, part 1. I'll do it so I don't have to do this next time. And then here, I'm missing a 4 verse. There it is. And that's what's going to happen to this text here. We've got a continuing story here, though. There's a lot being said and a lot being truthfully said. So this is the text that I got 4 pieces out of that. I got a lot of text here. I'm surprised how much text I did get from this one. Usually I throw out half of it. So otherwise than that. Okay, it seems like I got kicked off of YouTube and then back. Wasn't watching the screen when that happened. So, but that's the next text that was done. So I know if you take a screenshot of that, it's probably easier to piece together. Wow, there is a lot. So then like that. And I'll show that in the next video. But I guess I gotta fix my computer here a little bit, at least to get that working over here, so you can see what I'm doing from time to time. And I guess with all its problems, I got through today with a messed up computer and a lot of work to do. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to do another video today. I got to get my website corrected and all the text so it matches the bottom that's being over here done. So, okay. Have a great day.